Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever it may be for you. This is David, aka David Joseph Raphael. Sacred Clown is the channel that you're getting us on. This is a reading today for Libra. Libra, I've been inconsistent with this. Last time I recorded a message for you was 3 years ago, which is silly how time flies by, but a lot's happened to David in that time, and a lot's happened to the world. But I do have I have all 12 signs accounted for, and now this is the second go around. So I have a second up for Virgo, and I'm diving back in for you, Libra. All right, so this one's a little bit more simplified. I don't have the archetype cards out for you today, but I am doing the Hermetic Tarot, all right, for your messages. So I'm gonna pull 5 cards for you to do a little catch up, check-in with you guys. It's probably about 10 to 15 minute read, but we'll see what wants to come through for you, okay? All right, so I already shuffled the cards. We're gonna pull our 5, okay? And we'll dive in, okay? We got 5. The underlying card for you guys is the 7 of Cups. All right, I'll tap into that energy real quick to see if there's any underlying messages for that. Okay, so 7 of Cups, I read in the Hermetic, it labels, I don't know if you can read that down below there, but it says the Lord of illusory success. So I sense it's a touch of confusion, but not like, woe is me distortion. It's more so like decisions can be made. Do they need to be made right now? No, not necessarily. And it's an emotional one with the Cups energy. It usually is. It's opportunities, usually governed by our emotional well-being, or there are multiple opportunities that exist out there that our emotions are contingent upon, and almost so many diversified investments that it's hard to pick one, so to speak. Like any one of these could have the prize inside, so to speak. All right, that's just the underlying currents of your vibration. All right, we're gonna dive into the more specific messages. All right, first card out is the Emperor. Then we have the 7 of Pentacles. In the middle, we have the Moon card for you. Emotions are prevalent for you, Libra. Fourth card out, we have the 3 of Wands. And the 5th card, the last one, is our 9 of Cups. All right, so we're gonna embark on this journey together there, Libra. First card in your spread was the Emperor. So that is Son of the Morning. That's how it's termed in the Hermetic Tarot, all right? So I'm gonna tap into this energy 333 as I pull it up. There's strength, there's conviction, there's fortitude, and a bit of stubbornness. Now, Emperor energy is most commonly associated with like the truest embodiment of what Aries is. And that's the opposite side of the coin or the spectrum for you, Libra. That's like your counterpart in the zodiac. Your direct opposite is Aries. So you're coming through with this conviction, this power, I want to say prowess. The Emperor is the king of the kings, you know what I mean? He's got an eagle there, he's got a bumblebee, actually. It's real close, you can see there. Bumblebee, so prosperity, opulence, power. But looking at the road ahead, met with this underlying energy, it's like a king that doesn't know what decision he wants to make. So you're standing in your power, which kudos to you. But I think a renewal, a resurgence is needed, almost as if you've mastered your own domain, but what other domains lie ahead for you, all right? This is very nebulous energy that we're still getting to the crux of, so to speak. All right, that's you. There's fortitude, there's strength. Whatever you're doing or you have done up to this point is with beautiful conviction and strength. So respect. We're going to dive into the Seven of Pentacles to see what wants to come through there. All right. So the Seven of Pentacles, much more simplified energy, right? That's the Lord of Success unfulfilled. So the job isn't done yet, which is a little bit counterintuitive because with the Emperor, you think of like the Empire is accounted for. Like that's the highest peak that you could climb to, right? In terms of masculine energy or someone that's male dominant, but just asserting themselves. You can't climb much higher than the Emperor itself. But there's a situation that you're looking at that is unfulfilled, that more work needs to be done to. And while you sit on like your throne in your position of power and accomplishment, you can't help but feel like it's not necessarily reluctance. It's a hesitation over how to actually get the job done. One of the more visceral depictions within this image itself is that hand grasping the thorns. And it's like the flowers are there, but they're not fully bloomed. And it's kind of like grabbing onto it tightly, but you feel the pain of a lack of accomplishment. So I think in your being, there's a centeredness that you've found, but your outside world, a part of your empire or your creation is unfulfilled. And you can't have harmonic balance until you've made a decision. And I think that harkens back to the Seven of Cups. So we're getting that 7 energy doubling up and being reflected within your energy. And it was 7 minutes on the clock, right, as I said all that. So there's something you need to fulfill. You have to make a decision. But you don't know what that decision is yet. So while you are an accomplished individual, there's a task at hand that needs to be accomplished that you're still wary about. Moving on to the Moon card in the center for you, okay? Yeah. I'm coming back to the 2 sides of the coin analogy. So it also just so you can kind of see the Moon card and all the details there. The ruler of flux and reflux is what that is. And very emblematic or symbolic of the one that shows up in the Rider Waite. You have the 2 pillars. You got the beetle in there and the moon. Pisces energy prevalent, if I'm not mistaken. Could be Cancer. No, yeah, that is Cancer at the center. Me being silly, Cancer is the Moon card, but depending on the deck. Anyways, I don't know as much as I'm leaning on. Libra, with how you look at your emotions, you only look at them in the terms of the side of the moon that's lit. And there's a whole other half to the moon, dark side of the moon, so to speak, without getting too Pink Floyd, that you're not observing. And while you can moonlight as the Emperor, it's weird, like I kind of got a whole visual paradox, not necessarily paradox, but a pattern. Like you show and front your Libra energy, but there's a passion, there's a fire, and the repressed nature of the emotions that don't come to the surface almost appear in your psyche as as an angry Aries energy was kind of the sense I got. And it doesn't necessarily have to be angry, but it's like if you have comfort moonlighting or showing like the side of your emotions that show are the lightness of the moon itself, but the subconscious emotions aren't being tapped into. Like you are comfortable with the labels of the superficiality of the emotions that you share, but you're not sitting with them, getting to like the meat that's on the table. It's a very silly analogy that just popped into my head, but it's like, if your emotions are a steak, you are judging it by the surface and how well cooked it looks on the outside, all right? But are you taking the time to cut into that steak just to see how well cooked it is? You're not. Like, if you're like your shit well done, you're just trusting the outside. But realistically, once you cut that steak open, it's still very pink and bloody in there. So you haven't cooked through to your emotions. It's one thing if you're fucking wild and you like it raw, or you like it pretty pink. But something tells me that you don't. You want that cooked all the way through. And in the moonlight, in the light of a full moon, you're like, look at this well-cooked fucking steak. But realistically, it's still pretty pink in there. It's not fully cooked. And you need to put it back in the oven. You still got to pan-sear it more. You haven't gotten to the heart of your emotions. So you need to sit with yourself and be more honest about that. And then this decision of the 7 of Cups will make more sense. But how do we do that for you? I guess that's what these next 2 cards are about that we're going to dive into. But the heart of your emotions, the heart of your darkness has been an expression that I've been using. You haven't sat with it. And that doesn't mean that you have to solve the Rubik's Cube of what your heart is, your heart space is. No, it's just the willingness to sit with them. Libra, you're an air sign, so you're not very comfortable in your emotions, but you have to make a valiant effort in terms of spirit to actually sit with yourself. Because the whole world will believe your empire, or the fact that you're an emperor, but you won't believe it fully, and you won't fully embody it until you get to the heart of this emotional discomfort, unrest. And then any decision that befalls you, you'll be able to make with more clean and clear assertion, so to speak. All right? Ruler of flux and reflux. You need to get into the flux of your emotions. Otherwise, when it comes to emotions, you're only going to have reflux. I think of acid reflux. When it comes to your emotions, it's only going to make you want to upheave as opposed to be in the flux and flow of feeling your emotions with poise, conviction, and certainty, and know the readout of the data that your body is telling you, all right? 3 of Wands. Let's tap into that. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. So 3 of Wands is Lord of established strength. All right? And this is some Aries energy too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you got the Ram at the bottom. You got this. So, and because the juxtaposition, the most pretentious college word out there, of the Aries, right? The Aries is almost like this angry energy that's repressed inside you, this fire that can well up. And then that's why you can hold the Emperor, but you don't understand that power within yourself. That's what this 3 of Wands is articulating to yourself. All right? There is power, there's poise, there's presence, there's conviction, there's authority in feeling your fucking emotions. All right? If it makes you angry, honor that. If it makes you frustrated, honor that. If it makes you sad, if it makes you depressed, honor it. It doesn't mean you have to wallow in it, but honor it. You're insightful, all right? You have vision. Honor the message when it comes up and sit with it and know it and use the emotions that you feel. Ground them and walk with authority into conviction, into the decisions that you have to make. That is your scepter. That is your power. Holding, actualizing, and then alchemizing the emotions at hand in your belly, in your heart. And then you step forward into this fucking shit. This is a 9 of Cups, all right? All right, I'm tapping into that real quick, but it's coming full circle because I'm an excellent fucking reader, okay? 9 of Cups. This is your emotional fulfillment. This is independence in your emotions, all right? This is self-satisfactory. No one's asking you to be a Queen of Cups because you can embody the Emperor energy. At least you, who I'm talking to, can. All right? Nine of Cups is Lord of Material Success. So even though it's a water thing, right? Even though it's emotions, it is the Lord of Material Success. As if you can master your emotions to the conviction of having a Nine of Cups, complete, thorough entertainment, embodiment of all that's holistic within your emotional body and space, there's no material success that you cannot have. To be independently happy in you as an individual, to sit with your own emotions through trial, conviction, error, repose, repress, all of it, to sit with the full cycle, gives you the Nine of Cups, which is individual, independent, emotional fulfillment. No one can take anything from you because you are emotionally satisfied and gratified on your own, but on your own terms. And that's where all of this comes in. Because once you've mastered the Nine of Cups, a Seven of Cups situation will not hold you back. I don't need to say anything more than that, because that's beautiful. We came full circle. And then you can fully embody the Emperor energy that you are showing up with superficially. You are moonlighting as the Emperor energy, but we want a holistic integration of comfort and conviction in your emotional body. Okay? That's your friendly little reminder from David today. Keep on kicking ass, Libra. Watch it back, listen to the words, whatever the fuck. Be well, be free, and be true. You're sovereign and you're loved. Toodles. Bye.